Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 192, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
It's going. This is a long weekend. We're in the midst of Martin Luther King Jr. weekend.
That's right.
And we thought, hey, what better way to... Well, no, this is like a totally inappropriate way of celebrating that holiday.
Wait, how so?
Well, I don't know. I mean, in Martin Luther King, we should be like fighting for racial equality or something.
Oh, yes. Right? Which, yes. Well, there's still time. We can find something that we can support this weekend.
See, now I feel the pressure.
Right.
No, but we're getting on mic. We got lots to talk about.
Yeah. We really do have a ton of ground to cover. I think this is going to be a really full and hopefully satisfying episode.
Well, don't set the bar too high.
I think this is going to be all-time best of decade.
What's some of the recent stuff? I'm sure, now that the new year is here, you've had an opportunity to sort of catch up on awards contendery type stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Number one was I saw Little Women,
Good.
Which I saw over break with my girlfriend, which was really nice. And this has been an interesting one because I don't know this story. I know this is like a beloved book. The most I knew about it was that Mo reads it to children at the hospital. Right?
They weren't little girls. They were little women.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, is that even a line? I'll look forward to it if it is. The Greta Gerwig adaptation. I think Saoirse Ronan got nominated, and Greta Gerwig got nominated for screenplay, and I really liked it. I went in knowing zero about it. It's hard to talk about this in like a little mini paragraph form, but I thought I got the one thing that I'll say that I wasn't so sure about, and I've seen other people say this too, so I don't feel alone, is the way that it is told out of order. So the timeline is kind of diced up, and I actually found that a tiny bit jarring. So I would have to calibrate myself and understand what time period we were in, what they were currently going through, how they were feeling. And I feel like for some of the arcs, it took a little weight or punch away from them. I almost feel like if we had gone through the thing in a linear fashion, I might have tracked with some of the bigger moments.
Right.
A little bit more. So it almost felt like a greatest hits from a great book in some ways. But that's a harsher criticism. That sounds harsher than I really mean, because it was like an emotional experience. There were moments where I laughed a lot. And then I actually even punched my girlfriend's arm at one point because something made me so happy. I like just reacted. I was like, hey, that's great. For one of the characters. And, you also, of course, get a little weepy. But I thought all the actresses were great. And I thought it was a pretty easy movie to get invested in. So have you seen it?
I have the screener sitting downstairs. I have not had a chance to watch it.
I think the family will like it.
Well, yeah, my wife has already gone to see it.
Oh, okay. And did she like it?
She loved it. She said she was crying and that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, I remember the previous high-profile movie. I guess there was like an adaptation 2 years ago, 2018.
Really?
I think that was for TV.
Oh, I see.
But there was like a movie in 1994.
Yes, Winona Ryder.
With Winona Ryder.
Susan Sarandon.
Christian Bale was in the Timothy Chalamet role.
Ah, I see.
Right? And so I remember that pretty well.
I can picture that.
Yeah, okay. Totally, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, geez, didn't they just do this? And you're like, oh, that was 25 years ago. Like,
right.
That was a quarter century ago. So
right.
So I am looking forward. Like I said, it's the darndest thing. Send me a screener, and that's the way of ensuring I will never get to it.
Oh, really? See, that's how I get through award season, how I end up seeing everything, because otherwise I just can't make it for...
Like, I have to force myself, because obviously before we vote, it's like a lot of stuff I just can't get through. So I'm just trying to get as much done as I can in the screeners. But generally, for me, I want to be in the theater experiencing it.
Me too. I mean, always. If I could do that. I think for me also, I've mentioned this before, but I'm not a huge TV person. Like, I have my shows and I look forward to them, in my DVR when they happen. But for the most part, if I'm turning on the television at night, I'm trying to find a movie to watch. So I think I get through more movies that way because I have less TV with my entertainment time.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of, and also awards movies, I saw Rocket Man coming up a lot. I don't actually remember if it got nominated for anything, actually, but some people were thinking it got snubbed for Taron Egerton.
Yes.
Egerton? Egerton or Edgerton?
Edgerton.
Edgerton. And I had kind of... We've talked about this before. Biopics, but especially musical biopics, are sort of a tough nut to crack for us now after Walk Hard.
Yes.
Because they are all the same.
Right.
And so after Bohemian Rhapsody, which I enjoyed well enough, I mean, it had its issues. When Rocket Man came out, I was like, I'm pretty sure I just saw this, And so I'd put it off, but just because it had been coming up again and I had a free night, I was like, well, I'm in the mood for this. Let's do this. I don't know. I just didn't feel a whole lot for it. I think Edgerton gave it his all, and it's really impressive that he's singing. This is one of those movies where it's like a musical. It's Elton John's music, but the characters are singing it to express what they're thinking. So not only him, but his, mother and his emotionally distant father starts breaking into an Elton John song to explain how he's feeling.
It's like Jersey Boys, kind of.
I never saw Jersey Boys.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, but yes, I assume so. And it, I just wasn't feeling it. And maybe I like Elton John. I'm not in love with Elton John, so I know some of his songs, not all of them. I wonder if that might have helped if I just enjoyed the jukebox aspect of it a little more. And just his whole arc, it's like, well, now he's on drugs, so he's going to be like this for a while, and then he's going to not be on drugs, and then he's going to be like that for a while. Like, I don't know what you do to reinvigorate this type of movie, but I don't know. It was just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, pretty consistent with what I've heard about that movie almost across the board. Like, I very few and far between have I seen people sort of rapturous about it.
Yeah, and when I say fine, I think why I'm even being somewhat positive is it is an impressive presentation. I mean, it's, he'll start singing and he'll bust through some club that he's in, and all of a sudden he's in the middle of a carnival, and all the carnival people start dancing to this song, and then it's an impressive thing to look at a lot.
Right.
But I just didn't find any way into it emotionally.
All right.
And I think that I'm sure that it wasn't that Elton John didn't have an exciting life. It's just the beats maybe just feel too familiar, and you're just sort of like, and because they have so much ground to cover, I think that's another problem with these types of movies is that they're not allowed to give enough time to it's almost as if they stuck to a specific time period.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because when the movie Lincoln came out, one critique you heard from some quarters is like, oh, it's only covering this specific event. Why call it Lincoln?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And in a way, I think, certainly with the passage of time, I think that's what worked most in favor of that film, and why it, in my opinion, continues to resonate is because it really takes this slice of history and really dives deep into that specific moment.
Yes, and I see this quoted a lot. I don't know who to attribute it to, but it almost feels like a cinematic Wikipedia page. Right? So it's just really quickly going through all the beats, but you're not getting the meat of what was going on in those moments necessarily. So yeah, I'd put it off, and I'd been looking forward to it, so that was kind of a bummer.
Oh, that is a bummer.
But another movie that I watched was called I Lost My Body.
Okay.
Which is up for Best Animated Film with the Oscars. And I feel like I had heard that this was good. And then after that, it was brought back on my radar. And then on another podcast I listened to, someone put it in their top 10. So I was like, oh, let's check this out. Do you know what this is about?
I do not.
It's really interesting. It's a French animated movie, and it starts with a severed hand, and it escapes from like a laboratory or like a hospital cooler or something like that, and it's basically trying to track down the body it was taken from.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like Thing from the Addams Family.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
And it doesn't have eyes, but it apparently can see. But then you are cross-cutting with the young man whose hand this is, and you're going on this dramatic journey with him from a tragedy in his youth to where he's at now, and this woman that he's in love with, and this was really interesting. I can't say that I was completely emotionally swept away with it like a lot of people felt like, but I was really impressed with its originality and the acting. Even though I didn't understand a word these people were saying, I was reading the subtitles. The acting is so good. And the sound design is so good in this movie. And I really, you do find yourself, sort of grabbing your seat when this hand is trying to cross a freeway. And all the adventures it's going on, trying to get back to this boy. And then this poor boy, too. I mean, he's this sweet, sensitive guy, but he's also a little emotionally...
And he has no hand.
Awkward. Well, he does have two hands for most of the movie, so we don't know when that's going to happen.
Interesting.
But I was really struck by its originality.
So Brian, it's sort of like Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes. Yes. I can't disagree with that. I forgot about that. But yeah,
I just realized, Brian, we should probably explain that because that movie's 10 years old.
Oh yeah, go
So in Hot Tub Time Machine, we start out in the present, and we meet Crispin Glover's character, who is conspicuously armless. He has one arm missing, and then we go back into the past, and he has two arms, and so the whole movie, you're waiting in anticipation for the thing that's going to lead to him losing one arm.
Yeah, and the character, our heroes are also like they keep thinking. He keeps nearing dangerous circumstances, and you're like, is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? No. This movie does not play it out the same way. That tension is not there. But I thought this was good. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes, and I think it's probably
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. It's a little odd, but I think for people that are looking for that odd original thing, just something different amongst everything else, I think they're going to find things to like in this.
Well, there we go. And that's actually a good transition for me because that's a movie that's on streaming. And then a movie I just saw for streaming, which I wrote a review about this for the paper, is Troop Zero.
I've seen billboards for this. I have no idea what it is.
So this is currently an Amazon exclusive.
Okay.
And it's about a fictional Girl Scout troop in 1977, and they're called Troop Zero because there's no other numbers available.
Okay.
So it's your typical, bunch of misfits who come together and, fight the system. Kind of Bad News Bears.
I was just going to say, Bad News Bears.
The Sandlot,
Right.
And so in that sense, it sticks to a pretty well-worn formula, but what elevates it is the performances and the cast. You've got Viola Davis and Allison Janney, Jim Gaffigan, and the little girl who's the lead. She's played by McKenna Grace, and it's just a really sweet film. It goes down easy, and great performances, like I said, from everybody, and it's not doing anything, that we haven't seen before, but it does it very well.
Sure.
And so I would recommend that. It's on Amazon Prime.
That sounds cute.
And actually, speaking of that formula, I just watched last night, for the first time since 1993, Cool Runnings.
Whoa. Wow. I don't think I've seen that since, same, 93.
Right? So this is one of the things, I've been wanting to watch it with my kids.
Yeah.
Forever, right? But I didn't want to buy it on, Vudu or whatever. And it wasn't ever available for like I don't remember it being on Netflix or whatever. Now it's on Disney Plus.
Ah,
So I'm like, hey, kids, family movie night. And man, it's such a charming, fun. I mean, again, you talk about the formula. This movie is the formula.
sure. Yeah, sports film. Yeah.
Yes, it's your, quirky underdogs who fight the system. I mean, we've seen it, but it's just the formula works, Mm-hmm. And it's very funny.
I'm glad to know it holds up. I should check that out.
It is, like I said, that's another one. It goes down easy. Mm-hmm. And it's very funny because it is ostensibly based on true events. Mm-hmm. But when you dig into the history, you're like, basically the true event is, there was a Jamaican bobsled team in, 1998,
Right.
and they wiped out in their third round. That's it.
Right.
So every single other aspect of this film is entirely fictional.
Right.
The characters, you name it. And that's kind of funny to me. And I was reading a little bit about it, and it's just the movie started development as like a serious take on this.
Oh, funny.
And then sort of just through the development process, it became like a quirky Disney comedy. And I'm like, that's hilarious, and yet also entirely like you can see how it ended up in that way,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. If you and one of I believe it's the next to last performance by John Candy.
Wow. Yeah, I caught him in like Uncle Buck or something on TV, like 10 minutes of it. I just got sad just watching him. It's just such a loss.
It really is. You say, like, first of all, he's charismatic in any role.
Yes.
Right? But his voice has such joy in it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know. It's the same as when I see Robin Williams now, unfortunately,
They're very similar in that there's just an inherent sweetness that you can't fake that they both possess. And it's we talk about this with Home Alone, but he has, this very small role in it. But he also plays a type of guy that you feel completely comfortable with Catherine O'Hara getting in a van with him because
Right.
he's going to bring her, he's going to help her out. Like, it's just, you just can't fake that. And he brought that to everything. And I mean, you're really making me want to revisit this.
Well, check it out.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention is the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths event.
Yeah.
So this was a 5-part storyline that spanned the various CW DC Comics superhero shows. Mm-hmm. And man, I don't watch those shows regularly, but I wanted to see this because, it was being hyped up in the months leading up to it as like, we got a cameo from this person and this person. And basically, like, people who have appeared in DC Comics based content throughout the years got roped into this thing. And it's kind of, it's
Roped in.
it's the low budget filmed in Vancouver version of Infinity War and Endgame.
Okay, sure.
But it's just this was just a joy. If you're any kind of a fan of this world, of these worlds, Mm-hmm. In terms of cameos, right? They got like Burt Ward playing Dick Grayson. They got Robert Wall as Alexander Knox.
It's great.
Wait, come on, you gotta love that. And each Earth has a designation. So, Knox is on Earth 89 because of course. Mm-hmm. Burt Ward is on Earth 66 because of course.
Right.
They got Tom Welling to come back as Clark Kent from the Smallville series.
Wow.
And of course Brandon Routh came back as Superman.
Wow, all over the place.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because Brandon Routh has been a character in this universe playing the Atom.
Oh, okay.
So they got him in two roles. Mm-hmm. And you have characters seeing his Superman who are like, hey, he looks like the Atom, Which, it's like fan service up the yin-yang, But for me, I was just like, man, it's crazy that first of all, that there is enough extant DC content that you can do something like this, but that they've got enough just in this sort of this CW verse, the Arrowverse, I guess they call it, to do a story like this. I mean, the Crisis on Infinite Earths was a comic storyline when I was a kid. And you got a multiverse, and you got all these different versions, and it's just bananas. And it's the type of thing you read it, you're like, well, I'm never going to see anything like this in a movie or anything like that,
Right.
But here I am watching it. My kids are like excited about it, and it's funny because my kids have no problem being like, oh, well, that's the Superman from that Earth, and that's Superman. Like they have no problem with it. And I'm like, when do adults lose their sense of wonder? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because another cool thing is that they snuck in a cameo by Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Right. I saw a thing of this.
Yeah. So you've got Grant Gustin, who's been playing the Flash on TV for whatever 6 years now, and then they snuck in this thing where he encounters the Ezra Miller Flash, and they talk. They admire
Talk
each
shop.
other's costumes. Yeah, they talk shop exactly. And then it's just this quick thing, and I see that, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's like it's DC as an entity being like, see, you can like it all counts. And what's amusing to me is I'm like, well, obviously there's no way anyone can get upset about this. And then I get on Twitter and I'm like, oh, wait, of course.
Upset about what?
People are upset. Well, let me rephrase. Certain overzealous fans of a certain director got upset because they're like, no, his movies are meant to exist completely separate from everything else. And so by doing this, you're saying that stuff is on the same level as this stuff. And I'm like, guys, why? Why do you do this to yourself?
Yeah, why do you do this to yourself?
Right. I mean, this is literally, it's like the perfect way of being like, it all counts. Like whatever you like.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
It's not enough that I like what I like. I have to hate what you like. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, no, this was a miniseries or a movie?
It was a mini-series that stretched across 5 episodes of each of these series.
Okay.
So the current, let's see, it's you've got Arrow, which is ending now. You've got Flash, Supergirl, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, and Black Lightning. There are 6 shows on the CW. The CW is basically DC TV, right?
Wow. I kind of know this, but as you say it all out loud, man, if you're a fan, that's amazing.
And they are adding, by the way, this is something we've talked about a few times. We've bounced back and forth on this. There is going to be a Superman show. Set in this universe, which we talked about before, and they were like, no, it's not happening. It is, in fact, happening.
Okay. With this universe is
correct.
Superman.
With Tyler Hoechlin. And it's called Superman and Lois.
Okay.
So that's going to be 7 shows.
Whew. Wow,
right?
That's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mini filmed in Vancouver version of the MCU.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing though is they brought back Brandon Routh as Superman, and then the crossover did a good job of leaving him out there as somebody who he's off on his Earth, and right away people are like, this is like, we want to see more of him,
Yeah. I bet.
And I'm hearing rumors. I've heard from a few unconnected people that this is at least being mulled as a possibility via the HBO Max platform.
Yeah, so a bit more of a budget.
Yeah,
likely,
exactly.
Yeah.
Doing some kind of a mini-series or something. And I was like, well, first of all, I hope that happens anyway, because I think Brandon Routh deserves it. And I'm like, isn't it crazy that we've got these venues now where this type of thing is an actual possibility?
I had another thought, and that one as well, but I was thinking, I felt so bad for, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
And all these actors who just got crapped on. Fortunately, like pre-Twitter, it probably would have been 10 times worse.
Yes.
For all these things that fans didn't like. But Brandon Routh, he's just always been loved.
Yes, it's
so
true.
That's got to be really nice for him.
I was thinking about that. I was like, for all the critiques that film got, many of
Yes.
them rightly so, almost every critique was always couched with, but Brandon Routh is great.
Yeah. So I was thinking I feel really happy for him. What a really nice thing that he's been able to have all these years, but then to be able to like as you say, now that we're in this entertainment landscape where it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility you could have this Superman miniseries on HBO with a huge budget. That's awesome.
Well, he talked about, he gave an interview where he was like, being given the opportunity to come back as Superman allowed him finally to get some kind of closure on that role. And I was like, that's nice, you know?
Yeah.
They actually related to it. And also in this crossover, we got John Wesley Shipp as the 1990 Flash.
Oh, wait, is that the one, CBS one?
That was a CBS series, Earth 90, because it aired in 1990.
Wow.
And so they gave him, he essentially gets to write the final chapter of that version of the character. And kind of the same thing, right? Because that show just kind of ended. And Shipp, literally 30 years later, he's like, I finally get to tie a bow on this, you know?
Wow. Very cool.
And I think it's just neat. You know, I mean, it's funny because the term multiverse is now just part of the vernacular.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is crazy, you know, and we'll talk about a trailer for a new movie in just a bit that also allows for a multiverse.
Right.
And I'm like, man, it's crazy. It's what a time. Like this is my point, and I say this. I'm a broken record. The world belongs to the geeks.
It really
but
does.
The geeks cannot stop and appreciate it.
Wow. This is like a Twilight Zone episode.
It really is. You got what you wanted.
I know. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got some listener letters, Brian.
Yes.
Well, this is just a comment that was left for us on Facebook, and this is from Jason Thorwall, who says, I'd like to formally request that episode 189, which is our Rise of Skywalker summary episode, be retitled John Williams, You Beautiful Bastard.
It's so true. Because we've talked about this so much, but it's like we're almost used to the idea that Star Wars, if a new Star Wars comes out, it's just going to have a new lush soundscape to it, you know, between the sound design and then John Williams' score doing so much lifting, as they've done in all of the movies. I mean, we've said he's 50% Star Wars. Those movies aren't the same without those scores. So I would say, yeah, this one, same goes for this.
Yeah, well, and I would argue that that you could that could be the subtitle of the Movie Film Podcast.
Yes.
The Movie Film Podcast, John Williams, You Beautiful Bastard.
Right. You know what was nice, actually? I follow on Instagram some sort of John Williams account, because of course I do. And it's not an official thing. It's some sort of fan thing. But apparently he was playing, I don't remember where it was. Somewhere in Europe. And he was leaving his hotel. And there were a bunch of fans outside of his hotel, like as if they were waiting for the Lakers to leave, you know, to the stadium. And he was wearing a suit. You know, he's almost 90, and he had a guy holding his arm, taking him to his car. And he seemed a little surprised. And there's all these people just screaming for him and taking his picture, like, yeah, yeah. And it was really sweet. And he just kind of waves at everybody and smiles and gets in his car. And I was like, you know, I love that he gets that. That's nice.
How many composers?
Yes, that was the thought I had.
All
exactly. Right? How many composers get that kind of, rallying and cheering?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had also gotten an email, or rather, it was a message on Twitter. Gosh, I wish I could pull it up. But, you know, in reference to, you know, we did our best of the year, and then, you know, we've got our best of the decade coming up. Mm-hmm. And somebody's like, when are you going to do a worst of the year?
Yeah.
And I would say, I didn't respond on Twitter, but I'll just say this on the show. Never.
Yeah.
We will never do a worst of the year.
Yeah. I think that just kind of goes with the spirit of our show. I mean, I don't think we're afraid to say when we don't like something.
Yeah.
Right? But I think sometimes we always try to avoid just dogging on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if we don't like it, we'll say it and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
And there's just something about exhuming the corpse and shooting a bullet through the skull that seems a little excessive,
Yeah.
That being said, I have not seen Cats or Doolittle, so hey, maybe
Yes.
my whole mindset will change,
Like we've been recently inspired to add a new list to the show. Yeah.
No, speaking of Doolittle, I gotta say, I mean, this movie came out and it's not doing so hot, right? But is this not? I mean, we talked about this on the show. It's like, what are you thinking? Spending $175 million on this?
Oh, I know. Well, this one also had extensive reshoots, right?
Yes.
Like extensive as in let's change this whole movie, not let's, shine it up a little bit.
And in all stemming from the original sin of spending that much money on it.
Oh man, I know.
Right? Because that's the weird thing that they do in Hollywood, where they spend an ungodly amount of money and then they end up with something. They're like, oh, this isn't going to play. Let's spend more money to justify the money we already put in.
Right, and you've got to assume the same amount of people are going to show up opening weekend that would have. Anyway, Robert Downey Jr. talking animals.
There's a ceiling for that premise.
Yes. Yeah.
And the ceiling is considerably lower than $175 million.
Yes.
It's just baffling to me. You look at some of the decisions that go into this and you're like, it's amazing. How are you going to spend Avengers money on, Robert Downey talks to animals?
I have so many thoughts now too, because the animals didn't look that great in the trailer, but then maybe that's because that was money they spent after they'd already spent all the money, so they still didn't even get the most bang for their buck.
Right.
But then I also remember reading Lion King, because to me, 175 million is that's like, whoa, that's a crap load of money.
Yeah.
But it seems when you go into Avengers or you go into, say, The Lion King, Jon Favreau's The Lion King, or even Star Wars, you're almost getting into like 300 territory, which they don't talk about very much.
Sure.
And
okay.
I just wonder, I don't know what that's attributed to. I mean, if that's how much CGI heavy movies are. I mean, in Avengers case, you have a ton of A-list actors you've got to pay. I don't know. It's weird because these Disney movies that are delivering and are getting their returns are spending a ton of money. I mean, I wonder too if movies are just getting more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be honest.
Well,
but I mean, but still, you've got to look at the returns, and most movies aren't making what Disney movies are, into the 300 millions. If even the 200 millions. So it's like you've just got to spend responsibly.
Here's the thing. Even if you're Disney, I can't imagine you can sell this movie with that budget. Like, how does anyone on the executive level sign off on that?
It's got to be one of those things. People invest in people just because they have like a big Instagram account. You hear that a lot. Like, oh, we hired this person. They had this huge Instagram following. We don't understand why it didn't work. It's like, well, 'cause no one. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that translates sometimes in some ways, but that's not universal.
Yeah.
Right. And I think they were like, we got Iron Man. We got, it looks, if I remember correctly, the producer of Alice in Wonderland or something, right? Which it kind of looks like that sort of watercolory.
It looks like Disney-ish.
Yeah. So I'm sure on paper, they looked at the numbers and were like, we can't lose.
Ugh, jeez. Well, somebody's getting fired tomorrow, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's going to be the post-mortem in the Hollywood Reporter or whatever.
Yes.
That's a coming.
Yeah, right.
It's been very funny seeing Downey doing the talk show circuit.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I mean, all the usual, all the usual stops, and really stepping gingerly around the fact that it's just this giant turd of a movie that he has to promote.
That must be tough, right?
Yeah.
Like going out on talk shows and having to, come on, everybody, you're gonna love it.
Well, and literally every appearance and by the way, Downey gives a great interview because I saw him on Howard Stern interviewed him. Mm-hmm. Well, and it helps that Howard Stern is like a great interviewer,
right?
But he was also on like the Joe Rogan show, which I don't normally watch, but I saw a clip from that, and I mean, I think Rogan too has some skills in an interview where he really got Downey to open up in a lot of interesting ways. But it's talking about everything but the movie that he's there to talk about,
right?
Which is very funny,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a little break. We'll come back and talk through some trailers and headlines. And we're back, and hey, there's a new trailer out for another comic book movie that's coming next year. Mm-hmm. No Robert Downey in this one.
No.
But there's a lot of shirtless Jared Leto.
Great.
So this is a trailer for Morbius, which, as of a few weeks ago, you were like, what's a Morbius?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping this was a prequel about Lawrence Fishburne's character from The Matrix.
Whoops. It is not that. Although this is the second comic book character that Jared Leto is playing.
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking about Jared Leto as I was watching Joaquin Phoenix accepting his SAG award for playing the Joker.
Yeah, he's the third actor to be nominated.
Is he the
for
third?
Playing the Joker, right? I mean, you got Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Joaquin
Did Jack
Phoenix.
Nicholson get Oscar nominated?
I feel like that's right.
We should look that up. I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been. But regardless, I mean, it's a role that generally carries a lot of critical acclaim and popular acclaim with it, and then it just so happens Jared Leto was the guy who, when the music stopped, there wasn't a chair.
Yes, you're right. Right. It was Golden Globe. He was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Golden Globe, okay.
Yeah.
Regardless, so this is his mulligan at playing a comic book character, and he is playing the Spider-Man villain / Marvel antihero, Morbius.
Who I don't know. Who's Morbius?
Well, let's play some of the trailer, and then you can see if the trailer answered your questions.
I should have died years ago. Why am I still here if not to fix this? I have a rare blood disease, and I'm running out of time. This could be my last chance.
You're up to something. What is it?
It's not exactly legal.
I don't want to see you get hurt more than you already have.
This would be a cure.
Okay, so I feel like we should call this superhero trailer like 3,672.
Right.
Doesn't it feel like that a little bit?
It does, yes.
What'd you think of this? I'm curious. I mean, I'll watch it. Well, and you're gonna watch it too because we have a show. But like, I would have watched it anyway because I'm like, oh, I know Morbius. But you're like Joe Sixpack.
You know, I suppose I am. And it's funny because I have the things that I respond to when I see, like Captain Marvel, who I didn't really know a lot about, but I was like, that looks cool. And there's just certain ones that I'm obviously going to go to that, even if I don't know who they are, like they got me.
Sure.
But then there are certain trailers where I can just tell I'm like, no.
So I'm going to say this is the latter for you.
I have to admit, watching this trailer, I felt like, well, I'm going to see it for the show. I really did think that. And it didn't look bad. It just didn't look like anything compelling for me to get out of my house to go see.
Doesn't it look a bit like it's like a plug and play version of the Venom trailer a little bit? Like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what looked new and exciting in here that I've got to see.
Yeah.
But it didn't look bad. Like nothing was wrong with it.
I agree.
Somehow there's just sometimes there's an ingredient that's missing that gets Brian out of his seat. And I don't quite know what that is, but I thought the dee was kind of fun.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good trailer, right?
It's funny how we're talking about this. We're like, it's fine.
The guy who cut it together is great.
We're like Jay Leno. It's all right. What do you think, Kev? Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it.
Yeah, tell me what you think. You're gonna have way more to say. That's all I got, honestly. Like, what do you have? Based on your familiarity with his character too.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the character enough, but I mean, Morbius is like a 4th tier, if we're being generous, Marvel character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So it's like, here's my memory of Morbius. in the 90s, there was a Spider-Man cartoon, and they had Morbius on that cartoon, right? But because this is Saturday morning, you can't have, like, a vampire. So what they did instead, they gave him this blood disease where he looks like the comic book character, but he has these suction cups on his hands, and so he like steals your plasma through these suction cups on his hands, and that's the way of not having to be a vampire. But I'll tell you something: you see a picture of them damn suction cups, and that's like 500 times more terrifying than the idea of like a vampire.
Yeah. Sort of extracting something out of you.
Yeah.
Through a much more calmer means. That's terrifying.
Right, exactly. So I always found that amusing. I was the guy who was like, oh, Venom is going to flop, and obviously
Sure.
I am eating crow there. This one, I don't know how it'll perform. I do think, the little thing at the end,
right.
the post-credit scene in the trailer.
Yeah. Is that a first?
I guess that's where societal evolution has led us now.
Yeah.
We have the trailer post-credit scene. So they throw in Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that they put that right in the trailer, that's Sony being like, hey, it's connected, right?
Yeah, it's like they're not sure if you're going to show up, so they got to show you the thing that you would have normally stayed in your seats through the credit for, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously this is Sony taking advantage of the fact that, essentially the Spider-Man corner of the MCU has a door that swings in two directions.
Yeah, which, did you notice at the beginning, the Marvel card, it said, in association with Marvel
Yes.
Studios rather than just Marvel Studios.
Which I almost feel like in unwilling association with Marvel might
Right.
have been. Because you can picture Kevin Feige sort of gritting his teeth.
Yes, yeah.
So here's my thought on that. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. Let's see where that's going. I think it seems to me that they're building up towards a Sinister Six movie,
Okay.
which is, if you don't know, that's like Spider-Man's 6 main villains team up and they become the Sinister Six. I mean, it's there in the title. And obviously Sony has access to all of the characters who are part of the MCU that are Sony owned. Now, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how that goes. The only thought I have, which is not even related to Morbius, is like, I think you can place a very safe bet that Tom Holland will show up in the second Venom movie.
Just to ensure that, like, no, this involves him.
Yes.
Right.
It feels, and again, take a Zachy Hassan prediction for what it is, which isn't much, but I feel very safe saying that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that makes sense because, as you said, Sinister Six, I thought, well, I don't know that they can really get 6 movies
Yeah.
out of these random villains to trust that we'll get to their sort of Spider-Man villain Avengers.
Yes.
Right? So they got to make sure that Spider-Man is there.
See, I'm thinking. I mean, you figure Venom, Morbius, Vulture. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to wager Mysterio is going to still be alive.
Oh, sure.
There's 4.
Oh,
They're already
yeah.
planning a Kraven the Hunter movie. There's 5. And then number 6, at some point, you introduce Dr. Octopus. There you go. There's your 6.
Well, there you go. And you know, I've got to admit, I went into Venom pretty unwillingly.
Yeah,
And we had a blast talking about that one.
we did.
So,
You never know.
remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. So that's TBD. That's coming, I think, late July it's coming. Mm-hmm. So that's actually a smart time to release it because late summer. When is it being released, actually? Let me just double check that. Yeah, July 31st. So, I mean, come on. Ain't nothing coming out in August. People are going to be in the mood for something in this vein. No pun intended.
Totally.
See, in the vein. Get it? Vein. Proud of myself. That's good.
That's very good.
All right, moving on. We got some headlines.
Yes, sir, we do.
So, Brian, tell me about the Oscar nominations.
Well, the Oscar nominations were announced, and I think mostly we probably saw, what happened coming, right? Couple surprises, few snubs. Let's talk about what was nominated for Best Picture of the Year. Ford versus Ferrari. I didn't see that coming.
I was happy to see that.
Yeah. Irishman, Jojo Rabbit. I mean, I'd say these are the usual suspects.
The usual
we've been
suspects,
hearing
yeah.
around award
Yeah.
season. Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. So, yeah, pretty varied too. They're very different films.
Momentum
of-
seems to be on the side of Parasite.
Yeah, but I wonder because that was also nominated for Best Foreign Language Film.
Best foreign, yeah.
And I wonder what that will do to that. If people will feel like, okay, cool, we can handle that over in that category. And then I haven't really been paying too close attention, but it seems 1917's got a lot of momentum.
Sure. Yeah, that won Best Picture at the Golden Globes, right?
I believe so, yeah. It's funny because they have the best drama and then they have best comedy musical or something.
Yeah, so what did they give that to?
That was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Which, would you call that a comedy
Right?
or a musical?
Is that right?
That sounds right.
That's my memory of it. I mean, wasn't The Martian nominated for Best Comedy or something?
Yes, and The Tourist.
The tour, yeah. It's a little funky, their nomination things,
All right, so the Golden Globes are worthless,
qualifications.
basically. It's, the morning of the Oscar nominations, I woke up to like 6 texts from people who were like, what do you think of the nominations? And I'm like, why would you think I care about this at like 7 in the morning?
I'm somewhere in the middle of you where I don't. It's not that I don't care, but I they're also sort of like the Grammys. It's just like, I mean, how do you really qualify this as better than that? And there's so much music or movies or whatever that aren't getting recognized that should, and it's really hard to quantify these sort of things. However, I do watch it every year, and I also enjoy it. It's not some sort of painful exercise for me. I enjoy watching the Oscars. I feel like not a ton of people do, but I don't know. So there's still some fun in it, I think, for me. Do you watch them?
I mean, I haven't in a few years.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine not watching them. I've watched them ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, I had a
yeah.
run up until maybe 2011. Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of, the fever broke.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, maybe it just depends on where you're standing personally too, but there is something prestigious and nice about work being recognized, and you feel happy about that. But on the other hand, there are things that seem obvious that don't get recognized, and then it's just easy to be like, oh well, this can't really count. This can't really sum it all up, right, in one
Right.
award, and it's kind of impossible to. So I don't know. It's a show.
It's
It's a show.
So there we go. That's our thoughts on the Oscars.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about, bottom line for me, and I've said this on the show before, but, I told my students last year who were real upset that Green Book won.
Right.
And I said, look, name the last 30 years worth of Best Picture winners.
Right.
Name the last 5 years worth. You probably can't, Mm-hmm. Like, big picture doesn't matter. The movies that are going to be remembered will be remembered whether they're nominated for some award or whether they win an award or not.
This is very true. Yep.
Time is the ultimate testament.
Yep.
So there, people.
Yeah. That said, if I were nominated for an Oscar and won, I'd be very happy.
As
So-
you should be.
Yeah.
I would be happy for you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Here's some Simpsons news, Brian.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is something that's been going on for a little while, but there's been people wondering what they're going to do with the character of Apu,
Yes.
voiced by Hank Azaria, who is white, right? And there was a documentary that came out a few years ago called The Problem with Apu, and people were saying that people growing up who were Indian, it was a rough experience having this character that was kind of a stereotype. Well, it was a stereotype voice because it was a white man doing a stereotype of an Indian quick stop clerk.
Yes.
Right? So it was like, well, what are we going to do about this now? And Hank Azaria had been had pretty good answers about it, where he's like, well, hey, I never set out to hurt anybody, and then I'm fine with never doing this character again. And then the show did their own response, right, where they
Which was less than ideal.
yeah, they did some episode. I thought it was a brilliant idea, too. That's what we've talked about this. It was such a great idea where it was Marge sharing a book that she liked when she was a kid, I think with her children, but then they realized that it hasn't aged well.
Right.
Right? And she's like, yeah, but when I was a kid, it seemed okay. But then when they got to the ending to try to figure out what it all means, they just basically hit like their parachute and jumped out of the plane. And I mean, I think they put the words in Lisa's mouth, which is basically like, I don't know what the answer is. We'll figure it out someday, I guess.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, but that's basically what they did.
Well, it was more like Lisa saying like, "Oh, it's too bad that this thing that was created long ago with no intent to harm anybody is being misinterpreted by people." Like it was very, "What's your problem?"
Oh, see, and I do remember. I feel like there was a bit of a "let's stick a pin in it" kind of a tone to it, also.
Yes and no. You know.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I'm not defending it. I hated what they did.
Yeah, because we did talk about it on the show. I remember.
Yeah.
Because we were both like, really? Like, it's better to do nothing than do that.
Yeah, do nothing or like have an actual solution or like let's do this. Like you thought of the nice little allegory, so let's figure this out. But it felt like they didn't really know or want to do anything about it yet, so they just kind of left it hanging out there.
It's so Azaria's like, I'm out. Mm-hmm. And he said something like, it wasn't forced on me, but we all just kind of mutually agreed like this is for the best, right? And so the Apu character is kind of TBD. Like we don't know what's going to happen with him. Mm-hmm. But I did think it was funny that Hari Kondabolu, who made the documentary, put out this tweet where he's like, he said something to hold on, let me actually pull up the tweet.
Yeah.
After it was announced that Azaria is not doing it anymore. So Hari Kondabolu, he has this tweet. He says, "If Hank Azaria is indeed no longer doing the voice of Apu, I do hope they keep the character and let a very talented writing staff do something interesting with him. Mm-hmm. If not to better the show, then at least to spare me some death threats." Which he's joking, but not joking, because just looking at the comments that ensued underneath this thread was just a dumpster fire of hate and stupid.
Really? I was wondering, because it seems, when we talk about Snyder stuff, that's current-ish, right? But like Simpsons, I feel like I would assume that the fandom isn't as fervent as it could have been possibly 20-some years ago. So I was even wondering if people really have strong opinions.
It's weird, right? Because to me, I've talked about this before. Like I've never been offended by Apu, but I haven't dealt with the stuff that other people have, right? So I'm kind of like, oh yeah, it's fine. If people are upset by it, then that's something that should be considered, right?
Yes.
Agreed. I'm like, what kind of privileged asshole do you have to be like, hey, person who's part of the group that's being lampooned, why are you getting offended?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I get, like, honestly, just being very candid, I will miss hearing Hank Azaria as Apu's voice. That's just something that's part of my experience, Yeah.
I agree, because from a young age, he became a very real person to me.
Yes.
I know what Apu is like, and I care about Apu. So yeah, it's weird, but I agree with you. Like I can't argue with someone who's having an experience very different than mine. Like that has to be considered.
Yeah, and the fact that he is like, look, it's not a problem for me. I'm like, well, that's a decent thing to do. Mm-hmm. And the fact that people are like, no, he shouldn't have to. I'm like, he's smart enough to be like, look, I don't want to die on this hill.
Right. That's
what it comes down to. He's like, you know what? It's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, I'm like, if he's okay with it, why aren't you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, Hank Azaria's been handled this really well, I feel.
I mean, and this is not a one-to-one comparison, but it would be like black people getting upset at Amos and Handy. and Amos being like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I'm not going to do this. And then people being like, no, put on that blackface.
Right.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Hank Azaria as Apu, R.I.P.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with the character. But Hank's not going anywhere because he's doing like 672 other voices.
Yep.
Speaking of R.I.P., Brian.
Yes.
20th Century Fox is R.I.P.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So Disney, apparently now, for good, no longer is there 20th Century Fox or Fox Searchlight Pictures. It is now known as 20th Century Studios and Searchlight Pictures. Yes. So, what's that movie? Call of the Wild, I think, is going to be the first 20th Century Studios movie.
So the logo is going to be almost exactly the same.
Okay.
And they're going to keep the fanfare.
Oh, good.
So everything but the word Fox is absent.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, I mean, duh.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's still Fox Sports, Fox News, Fox this, Fox that. So it's, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, there's a separation.
So again, this is going to feed into Disney is killing cinema and all that other crap, right? And we have our criticisms of Disney sometimes when it's warranted. This does not seem like a warranted occasion. It seems like a smart business decision because, as you said, the Fox name is still affiliated with Rupert Murdoch and everything that he represents. So there's still Fox TV. Mm-hmm. Fox News, actually, it occurs to me that's probably something Disney isn't crazy to have.
Too keen.
To be linked to. So yeah, of course you do this. What's the big deal?
It seemed kind of inevitable. And I think it's just, when you see a headline like that, you're like,
yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what, like, Twitter does, right?
That's
hit the button.
Very, very accurate, yeah.
But when you see a movie and you still see the big 2-0 and the spotlights and the fanfare, it's like, nothing's changed.
There you go.
Yeah. Little has changed. Little has changed.
Little has changed.
I say that trying to be sensitive of a lot of people that used to work at 20th Century Fox that no longer do.
Yeah. So So if we're talking about changes and being upset about them, the people who are actually financially impacted are pretty much the only ones who get to be indignant.
Right. Yes.
If you're talking about, my gauzy feelings of nostalgia are now being impugned in some way, it's like, go outside.
Here's a ball.
Yeah,
you could bounce it.
Exactly. Now that being said, I do hear some music right now. Now this was a big change.
Well, now we're talking about episode 9, correct?
Episode 9. Now, a couple months ago, you and I were talking about the rejected Colin Trevorrow script for episode 9, and very confidently we were like, but that'll never leak. There is no way. No comeuppance, is what we said.
Right.
And then, like, 2 months later, it leaked.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the script itself, but plenty of people have, and they have made very concise bullet point posts.
Yes.
On Reddit that have been confirmed by people.
So here's something interesting, Brian. So about 24 hours before it got out into the world, 2 people contacted me completely separate from each other who were like, hey, I've got the episode 9 script and let me tell you about it.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So when the stuff broke online, I already knew it was true because I had it in 2 unconnected people were giving me specific bullet points that were in these, the leaks.
Okay, so I have a question for you because what makes the most sensational headline so people can hit the button is Colin Trevorrow's script has leaked and it is so much better, right? Like everyone just wants that headline regardless. They haven't read it. They don't know.
Yeah.
So 2 people who have actually read it and not just seen the things that happen in it. Do they like it?
Yes. They
really?
were both very complimentary. Mm-hmm. One person was not a fan of The Last Jedi and said that this script would have done the job of, in his opinion, of sort of making even people who didn't like Last Jedi come on board.
Wow.
And the other person I talked to said it didn't say that, but they were like, there were certain aspects of it. They were like, and I really liked this and I really liked this. So, and these are people in the industry, so they know. But it's interesting because that that what you just said, that's like one headline. I think that was from like Esquire or something, right?
I've seen a lot of headlines saying that.
But I've also seen headlines saying the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
And so I'm like, I love that this
That is not as good?
Yes.
Specifically? Okay.
So this is like a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
You know? Do you want to talk about some of the stuff that was so this is the draft.
Definitely.
This is his first draft written with Derek Connolly, and it was completed about a week before Carrie Fisher died.
Yes.
And so we don't know if he did another draft or if this was it.
Right.
Right. But yeah, do you want to talk about some of the highlights from it?
Yeah, well, one of the major differences, and this is interesting, we should point out, is that Colin Trevorrow and his writing partner, right, I assume, got story credit
Yes.
on Rise of Skywalker.
By the way, Chris Terrio, who co-wrote the movie that we got, is like, yeah, we didn't even look at Trevorrow's script. And
Yeah.
I call BS on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't see how that's possible because there's enough things that are unless I would not be I want to couch what I'm saying. I would not be surprised if they did in fact look at a Trevorrow script.
I agree with that. However, if he wants to pass a lie detector test, I would be willing to believe that he and J.J. Abrams were in a room with Kathleen Kennedy and she's like, here's where we are.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so this is what we got, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't do that, but maybe if we did this, and then they sort of built their own thing.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, because then you wondered how much overlap there was going to be, and it didn't feel like a whole ton, to be honest, right? I mean...
between the Trevorrow script and the movie that we got.
Yeah.
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 There's echoes.
There's echoes, yeah. The biggest change, I think, is that Rey is not a Palpatine.
Yes.
Right? And it turns
She's
out
Rey
that
Feldstein.
Kylo Ren killed her parents.
Yeah, which I'll be honest, I hated that. Mm-hmm. I hated that more than I would have, and I didn't hate the Palpatine thing. Like the Palpatine reveal is less offensive than saying that Kylo Ren killed her parents. Sure. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I have a hard time because I haven't read it, honestly, and also that was what I was feeling when people were saying going so quickly to it's good or it's bad. I'm like, I don't know, I haven't read it.
Yeah.
Like these are all just ideas. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Like, did they pull it off? I don't know. This is the problem inherently when you have people jumping right to, oh, it's better than what we got. I'm like, well, this is a first draft of a script. This is so we don't know how it would have changed from that draft to what if it were made. And it absolutely would have changed.
Of course, right? We know that it would have changed because of Carrie Fisher, if for no other reason than that. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, you read a script or you read the description, and you're making the movie in your mind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, I read all the highlights of it, and I'm like, well, I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like the gang commandeers a Star Destroyer. I was like, cool. Yeah, that. Well, first of all, I feel bad for Kelly Marie Tran. Yes, she had a lot more to do in this, yeah. I mean, substantially. Like, she was a main character. Yeah, yeah. Right? And that's another interesting thing, because one of the conspiracy theories, like, oh, Trevorrow was fired because he was trying to undo The Last Jedi. Mm. And it's the exact opposite. Right. Because by the way, the title of Trevorrow's script, we buried the lead here, was friggin' great. Right. This, like, once I saw this, I was like, well, that should have been the title no matter what. Yeah. Duel of the Fates. Yeah. So good. Yeah, it's good. Right. But that sounds like an epic Last Stand sort of title, too. Totally. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I think you could have called the movie we got Duel of the Fates, and it still would have worked. Mm-hmm. But regardless, the construction of the story was very much leaning into the things that The Last Jedi did. And I think my sense, anyway, is that part of the reason Trevorrow left is that Kathleen Kennedy was sort of sensitive to the, the polarization of The Last Jedi, and that led to some sort of second guessing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I mean, the a lot of the beats are the same. Kylo Ren does get redeemed at the end.
Oh, I thought he didn't.
It's what's been out there is like Ben is extinguished, is how I think Robert Meyer Burnett, one of these people who did the highlight tape, but he essentially at the very end, right before he dies, it's not like a big action scene like in The Rise of Skywalker, but at the very end, the real Ben emerges and he dies.
I see.
So Ben-demption was a part of both.
That'd be a good like BuzzFeed headline for Ben Affleck. After like a bad film, then he comes back and make a good film. It's like his Ben-demption.
Ben-demption
with Argo. Yeah,
that's right. The stuff that I did like, there was a lot more Luke. They both
talking to Rey and Kylo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's. I don't think we need to go through it like point by
beat
point.
For beat, yeah.
It's all out there, but I mean, it's. I read it and I'm like, you know what? If they had made that movie, I probably would have liked it.
I bet. And just one other thing I want to point out: one of the missions is going to Coruscant to ignite a beacon.
Yes.
To call people for help.
Yes.
And I like that. That does feel like a natural continuation from Last Jedi, where it's like, if there are people out there, like they will fight with us.
And it reminds me of Return of the King,
Yeah, like the beacons.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's a thread there, speaking of Coruscant, where the Chancellor is Hux.
Right.
And the idea that we see Coruscant and it's like really ruinous and kind of terrible, and it's a marked contrast from what we saw of Coruscant before. And there was a thing woven throughout where Hux is fascinated by the Force, and so he accumulates like Jedi artifacts. And so one of the artifacts he has is a purple lightsaber. And near the end, when it's clear that the First Order is going to lose, he commits suicide using that purple lightsaber. And I was like, that's interesting,
Yeah. I gotta admit, I have a hard time imagining that.
Yes.
In a Star Wars film, but...
Committing suicide?
I understand. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's
I can imagine, like, the artful way to do it, and then you see the lightsaber fall to the ground.
Exactly, right? You can see that. I mean, Christopher Lee got beheaded, for goodness sake.
Whatever, true. Yeah. But I do like the streamlining of that idea. Instead of all these little mini missions, I like we've got to turn on this thing, and if we don't do this, no one's ever going to show up. And like, we need the people to show up, and then, right?
Yes.
I think I said that in my original review, was I liked the Dunkirky aspect of the ending, and I wouldn't have minded seeing more of that mission. Yeah,
I mean, as opposed to we got 15 hours, and the entire galaxy needs to show up right here.
Yeah.
I think
Wait, have you seen that recent meme from Rick and Morty about the heist? It's a really brilliant episode, actually, where they like deconstructing heist movies. And the whole joke is when they show up to the person who's the expert at this or that or whatever, they always answer with, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." And so it gets to the point where they just like show up and someone just working on an engine just looks up, "You son of a bitch, I'm in." And so I'm just picturing that and like, showing up to Wedge. Just, that would have been kind of a funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think bottom line for me, it's like, I've, in hindsight, when we talk about the original trilogy, I've heard of the various ways they were positing going for Return of the Jedi. And some of it was dark or whatever. And I'm kind of like, well, that's nice curiosity, but the movie is what it is that we got. And so that's where I'm at with The Rise of Skywalker, where I'm like, well, maybe it would have been good, maybe it wouldn't, but that's not what we got. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. My friend, she's chummy with Trevorrow. Not super close, but chummy. And she's always said, like, he's a really nice guy. And it's funny because I don't know what it is. People, I think the Jurassic World, people are like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then they didn't like the sequel as much. And then the Star Wars thing and Book of Henry. And it's funny because then you can see this sort of people thinking that maybe he's been overinflated or something.
Right.
But I always remember that she said he was a nice guy. You feel sort of bad for him in a way where he just has to be silent through some of this stuff where people are crafting this narrative about him or around him. You know, so it sort of made me happy that this script got out in a way. Like, I mean, I don't want anything, you know, JJ. It's stupid to like poop on a movie that exists because of it. But just people saying like, oh, well, maybe a script, he wasn't fired because he sucks, you know, or because he made Book of Henry or, you know, something that wasn't exactly true. It's kind of nice that he gets his, yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, I did do an okay job. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder how much of like the leak, the release, right? I wonder. I mean, it had to come from somewhere.
I know. Yeah.
You know? I mean, my thought about this is that I think that all the stuff that started coming out about JJ, like his editors, like there was this thing, and you know, like you got all the people sort of in the JJ orbit who are like, well, he was going to do this, and you know, Dominic Monaghan's like, oh, and there was a scene here that that didn't make. I feel like, and maybe it's just me, I feel like it's a little bit of face saving from the JJ side. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like if I were to guess, right, I think that J.J. Abrams knew probably a month out that the movie had problems. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because they had done reshoots and everything. And so I think there was a little bit of trying to be like, well, I wanted to be better about this and that, right? And I think a lot of that may have inadvertently ended up on Colin Trevorrow's doorstep.
Mm.
And so I think by leaking the script...
Yep.
I'm not saying Colin Trevorrow did, but maybe somebody in his orbit kind of like, hey, look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't blame Palpatine on us.
Right.
You know what I mean? In our script, she was Ray Feldstein or whatever, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I entirely. Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. I think there is going to be a book about all of this. I
can't wait.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Ray's character, by the way, is her. It's not Feldstein. It's Solana.
Yeah.
Which, like, all right.
Yeah, that feels like a first attempt.
I mean, you didn't need that, you know.
Oh yeah. Sure.
You know, there's stuff as described that I think could have worked. But I'll tell you this, Brian. You know, we're recording this on Martin Luther King Day, and in exactly an hour, I'm going to be going to see Rise of Skywalker again with my kids.
Oh wow!
So you know, it worked on me.
Yeah, me too.
So there.
It's documented.
Exactly. So let's take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about Bad Boys for Life. All right, so it is Martin Luther King weekend, and Bad Boys for Life has the record for debut over MLK weekend, $73 million.
Whoa! Wow.
So in 3 days, it made more than the entire total box office for the first Bad Boys.
Wow. All right. And this is a trend we've been seeing lately, sequels to films that are at least over a decade old.
Yes.
Right? So I think this is like 17 years.
17 years. The second one came out in summer of 2003, and I saw it the week before I got married.
Oh, funny.
So it's the last movie I saw in the theater as a single person.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Which is funny because you and I were supposed to see a movie before you got married, and then it didn't work out. Remember that? So
didn't work out. So
I could have been involved.
it could have been Open Range, directed by
Yes, that's
Kevin Costner.
right.
Yeah, I remember. But instead it was Bad Boys 2, which I was not crazy about. So when they announced the third one, now initially Joe Carnahan was attached to direct. Mm-hmm. And I'm a fan of his because I loved the A-Team movie and also Narc and other stuff he's done. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm down. That sounds interesting. And then he left, and he was replaced by these two Belgian directors, Adil and Bilal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. And then I think I can't remember how we reacted to the trailer. I was not blown away by anything I saw in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't recall, but I do. Less than a month ago, I saw the poster in the theaters, and I was like, I'm ready. Like, I want to see that.
See, when I walked into my press screening, I was like, well, I'm watching this tonight. Like, it was like that.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was a little more positive on it, actually. I didn't know it was going to be any good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do this.
Well, and to the film's credit, it exceeded every expectation I had for it.
Me too. It's actually a good movie.
It is, and that surprised the shit out of me because about a third of the way through, I was like,
That should be on the poster.
it surprised the shit out of me. About a third of the way through, I was like, am I enjoying this?
Yeah. Yeah, not even just enjoying, but I'm like, I think this is good.
Yeah, I was like
the,
engaged, you know?
the story, that was, okay. Have you watched Six Underground on Netflix, the Michael Bay movie with Ryan Reynolds?
No, you watched that on my behalf.
As much as we have fun clowning on Michael Bay, he makes really impressive looking stuff.
Sure.
So I'd kind of forgotten about it, and then one night I was like, "Oh yeah, this is like a new Michael Bay movie on Netflix I can watch right now." It's like, why not? So I queued it up, wanting some good action, and I didn't expect very much. And wow, it is terrible.
Really?
It is. I don't know. His movies used to be at least coherent, right? They may have been over the top and the characters were awful and whatnot, but this movie is incoherent.
That's really funny.
It's nonsense. It's just like it makes it's crazy. I actually felt like I was watching a DVD that was skipping the chapters in random order. Like I was watching it in random, and I was like, "This is." And then at one point, I fell asleep for like 20 minutes closer toward the end, and then I woke up, and all of a sudden people were flying around because of magnets, and I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like I need to rewind, but this is kind of cool. So I just like watched the last 10, 15 minutes of it. But so all that said, when I went into this movie, I was expecting, it's just going to be two guys making wisecracks and a bunch of action. But I was really surprised that I actually saw a movie about two people
Yes.
that were really well defined and interesting and different, going through something together, learning from one another, and like solving a coherent story. I think it's a good movie.
So I revisited the first Bad Boys before I watched this. I didn't have it in me to watch the second one again.
I've only seen that once also. I don't remember a lot, except for some of the action.
The second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember it went on forever and I was just entirely done by the end, But I have like good memories of the first one, and then I rewatched it and I was like, I don't know, this movie's like not that good.
Oh, really? See, I haven't seen it in a while either, but I remember liking it.
Like it's like fine, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's very like it's up its own ass in terms of like it's the style and how cool these guys are, and
Right.
It's
right. See, I remember them is what I remember more than anything.
Yeah,
their interplay.
It's like I think there was an attempt, certainly with that first film, to sort of position Mike and Marcus as like the two biggest badasses, right? And it, I think what this third one really recognizes is like, well, yes, we need both of them, but Mike is the center of gravity.
Sure.
Right? So the analogy I would make is like, it's like you got to have Riggs and Murtaugh, but Riggs is like the guy.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right? And so watching this, I'm like, No, this is a film. Like those are movies. This is a film
Yeah.
because there's an actual story, and here's what's interesting to me is it's leaning into sort of the history of the films, but more than that, it's leaning into our memory of those movies existing more than the movies themselves.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because here's my point, because it's all about getting older and this and that, and so the fact that it's been 17 years since the last one, it's been 25 years since the first one. Mm-hmm. Like that's like all a history that we've built up. So the audience has sort of imbued these characters with a lot of added emotional weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that to me is what made this work. Where, I mean, it's the fact that they're something happens to Will Smith's character in the first third, and you feel it.
I agree. And building on that, you picture like a buddy cop movie and them getting older, and you can kind of picture what they're going to do, where they're like, oh, I'm creaky, my knee. But then it all doesn't really matter. Like they can still do whatever they have to do by the end of the movie. Right. And I really admired this movie for actually having maturity be part of its theme.
Yes.
And there's like a whole thing with Martin Lawrence, which I was actually surprisingly touched by, where he has this prayer.
Yes.
And he's praying with tears in his eyes, and he's just like, if this thing goes a certain way, I want like to remove hate from my heart.
Right.
And I was like, whoa. Like I was actually feeling something during that moment. And what I liked was it wasn't just played for jokes later, even though it is, and it's very fun. Yeah. Occasionally, but it actually stuck to that theme. And that carries the whole movie all the way up to the end. And what I found to be sort of a surprising ending for a movie like this, where from Michael Bay, I'm sure you wouldn't have gotten that ending.
Absolutely.
And I found it to be kind of mature, but also they still had a lot of fun with it. And it gave Martin Lawrence like a really rich kind of arc.
Yeah, that's and to the point I was making earlier, I think that's what's so interesting is like they tried to, with the first one, like, oh, he's such a badass, just like Will Smith. And with this, it's like, well, no, let's give him something different because he can't do that. Mm-hmm. Nobody can out Will Smith.
Yes.
So let's give Marcus this other thing. Mm-hmm. And again, to me, it's like Riggs and Murtaugh. Yeah. Like we don't need two Riggses.
Yes. Yeah. But it's nice too that they aren't off on their own sort of little journeys. Like their journeys tie into one another. Like the things they're learning are like intertwined, and that is like a true friendship. Yeah. And they're obviously at odds because you need conflict in a movie like this with their philosophies throughout this movie, but that's what makes them stronger, and that's what makes them stronger friends. And by the end of it, I was like, I can't believe this movie is like sticking with this. Like they took the time. It didn't feel like, well, no one's going to care about this. Like let's just show more action and whatever. Like they actually tried to balance both, and I thought that's why it was so good. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to talk?
To my surprise,
it wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that.
Yes, I mean, and don't get me wrong, this isn't like some drama. I mean, it's still a Bad Boys movie, but they decided to make it a rich action movie.
This is I said this to you before. I walked out the theater being like, that's what I wanted Hobbs and Shaw to be.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Totally.
And again, that's the Hobbs and Shaw is like this contractual thing of like, well, they both got to be the alphas.
Yes.
So he got to punch the same amount of times as he does, right? And it's like, well, why not play to your respective strengths? Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that's what Bad Boys for Life does.
Yep. Totally agree. Maybe that's something that comes with maturity, tying into the theme.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Maybe they'll learn that lesson by Hobbs and Shaw 3.
Hobbs and Shaw for Life.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Spoilers.
So Joey Pants gets killed.
Man, that was rough. And I'm not even like this isn't a trilogy that's like near and dear to my heart, but the movie does a good job of reestablishing who that character is, what he means to the people in his universe, And I think we just like Joey Pants from movies. That probably comes into play. And so when it happens, the whole theater gasped.
Yeah.
Like a genuine, sorrowful gasp. And I really felt it. Yeah, that was...
Well, so what we get, first of all, we get right before that, we get his, like, dispensing fatherly wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. I forget what he says. What kind of horse are you? Or whatever he says. I forget.
Yeah, are you riding fear? Like, where's it taking you?
Yeah, which was a good moment. But even then, you know, it would seem obvious, like, oh, he's about to die, you know?
I gotta admit, I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think because the movies exist in sort of this heightened reality, like, well, no one you care about is actually gonna, you know?
Yeah.
Right. But this is kind of my point. Is like the earlier films, they use Joey Pants well, but they don't imply that same, you know, emotional connection, right?
That's a good point, because his character says that Mike's like a son to him.
He's like a son to me, right?
And if they had they probably wouldn't have put that line in the earlier ones, but in this one I believed it.
Yes.
And when you see that Mike bucks everything that disagrees with him, like he has his own way of doing things, but when he's sitting there listening to the wisdom being given to him, he listens to him like a father.
Yeah.
And that's what sells the tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when we talk about the direction, I mean, these guys are clearly like they're working within the broad stylistic guideposts that Michael Bay set up.
Sure.
But I think what benefits them the most is that they have restraint.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because Michael Bay, the second one is like a parody of every Michael Bay movie ever made.
Right.
You know? And there's like the one shot in this where it's like the low angle camera turn, right?
Yeah.
Which is obviously an homage to kind of, it's weird because we forget Bad Boys was Michael Bay's first movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's weird. Like, he's been part of the landscape for so long. There was a time when he was like a brand new, you know, his name, you greeted his name with hope and optimism.
Right.
Because like Bad Boys is like pretty good, and then The Rock is like arguably his one truly great movie.
Right.
And then it was like I think Armageddon was right after that, and it's just we're still looking for the bottom. They were still dropping.
See, I haven't seen that probably since the theater, but I do remember it at least taking time for emotion. I remember with Bruce Willis and the, you know.
Harry, no, I love you.
right.
I remember when they took Armageddon to Cannes, which, like, why would you take that to Cannes, right?
Right, sure.
But like when Bruce Willis dies, like the audience was laughing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's rough.
That's rough. Yeah.
But no, in this one, I did find it funny, and we had this exact thought where about halfway through, you realize, Will Smith made Gemini Man twice in a row.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about that, and I had the exact same thought. Yep. Well, because in that movie it's his clone, but it may as well be his son, right?
Yes.
It's the younger version of him. But in this, we find out that the villain, one of the main villains, is Will Smith's character's son.
Yes.
And that changes all the dynamics. Yeah.
I mean, I think on a broader level, I'm enjoying this stage of Will Smith's career where he is playing like the older man, grasping with, you know, not being that young buck anymore. Because, I mean, I think you and I were both pretty meh on Gemini Man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we both liked what older Will was doing there.
Yeah. It was a disappointing thing because it was a cool idea.
Yes.
And I liked some of the technology. I actually thought the technology made the movie even a little cooler. But yeah, it was ultimately kind of a flat story. Kind
of flat. This one did it better.
Yeah, totally agree.
You know, the villain, Isabel is the character's name. Kate Del Castillo is the actress. She was really terrifying.
Yeah.
From the jump.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The way she's introduced in that, the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. You truly feel like these people are capable, and people you should be scared of for sure.
Well, and the whole runner about like you like effed a witch.
Yeah, that was so funny.
You didn't wear a condom. Yeah.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence stuff. I thought he had some really great comedy in here. I mean, he really handled so much. He had some of the drama he had to take care of, but he also had so many funny moments. That, of course, when they're on the plane.
Yes.
You know, and then eventually he's like, "Do you want to switch seats?" That guy's like, "Yes." I love the two. What was it like? We ride together, we die together on the airplane, and then everyone's looking at them. He's like, and then he's trying to like lighten it. He's like, "So where are you from?"
Well, and I like that. I mean, it's he kept Marcus like just this side of clownish.
Yeah, so he doesn't become like this preachy morality guy.
Yeah.
Even though he is trying to sort of save Mike's soul a little bit.
That, and it's also not a lot of, oh no, oh my, you know, it's not that.
Yeah,
like,
he gets his own comedy rather than responding. Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, when he wanted to touch the bump on that guy's head. I was dying. He's just like, I'm feeling compelled.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's the movie did a lot right. I also, by the way, I really liked the Will Smith love interest.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her. Do we know her?
No, I've never seen her in anything.
But she's good. Like, yeah, she held her own. Totally would make sense that they would like each other.
Yes.
She gets some great action.
Paola Nunez is her name.
Okay, yeah, she was great.
Well, and I like that she's like age appropriate.
Yeah, they felt like a good fit.
Right, you know?
Yeah.
Now, this was being positioned as, you know, One Last Time.
Right.
And then it ends with, but here's our, you know, end credit scene where the bad boys join the Avengers or whatever.
Well, so ammo, right?
Yes.
Like we set up these young bucks who could possibly have their own film.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I was ready to hate them.
Me too.
To find them kind of annoying, but I was like, oh, these guys are kind of...
Yep.
They did a good job of making sure that each one felt distinct and held their own, and I was like, I actually don't mind this team up.
Yeah, the big beefy guy who's the hacker.
The hacker, yeah.
He's got to go to his therapist when he's involved in violence. I thought that was fun. And
that was
Vanessa.
fun.
I didn't realize that was Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, right.
No, but yeah, I agree. Like again, it's easy to see the version of this movie that would have gone a certain way. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to set up these ammo guys who think they're all hot shit, but now the bad boys are going to come in and they're going to do this.
Right.
Right. And very smartly, I think the film embraces the fact that they are older.
Yes.
And they are part of a team, and you know there is value in having, you know, experience. And I mean, this is Mike's whole arc, right? He's not invincible. Mm-hmm. And you know, I mean, I think it's fascinating to me that Bad Boys was basically Will Smith's first movie as a star, right?
Right.
And he was the one who was really pushing all this time to get this one made. And you can see why. Like he has an affinity for this character because Mike Lowry, as presented in Bad Boys, that's the Will Smith archetype. Mm-hmm. That's archetypal movie star Will Smith.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, what, you know, so it's the closest to him.
Yeah.
You know?
I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about Bad Boys for Life?
Well, just to call it the action, I mean, it's very good. I was going to say that it was good, but I did want to couch it with, it's not Michael Bay.
No.
Right? I mean, Michael Bay, say what you will, but he stages just spectacular chaos, right? But I did think this movie had some really fun moments, and there's that moment with where Will Smith's on the back of that truck and it blows up and propels him into the air and he grabs onto the helicopter rope ladder. I think I yelled like a Will Smith, "Whoo!" in the theater when that happened. I was like, whoa. So there's some fun stuff, some fun car chases, and I don't know. I thought that stuff was good.
Yeah, I think the hand-to-hand fight between Will Smith and the person who turns out to be his son was very well staged. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Will's stuntman was in there for some of it, but like you really
Yeah.
felt the impact of the punches. It wasn't sort of sexied up,
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, again, for me, this is just a very pleasant surprise at the start of the year.
I agree, and I think I might be starting to repeat myself, but going back to the ammo thing, where I felt, like I said, I was ready to not like them, and I wanted, the bad boys to show them up and show them that they were wrong and that their ways were better. Something like that's just what I thought it was going to do, and I was kind of prepared for that. But then when that didn't happen, and they made them capable also, and they learned from each other, and it was about helping each other and wisdom and whatnot, I was like, oh, that's so much better.
Right.
And I loved that. I appreciated that. I think maybe I haven't seen that in a movie in a while, where it's you'd rather show the person up or something. And so I think that really encapsulates what this movie is. This movie is just kind of a mature story about what you learn after all these years and the wisdom you gain. And it's like, working together is better. Like you stop bad guys. You put out violence when you have to stop the people who are going to spread more violence. But it's really much better. I think what was it? Penetrating his heart with love or whatever he says. And that ends up being kind of how the movie is won. I was like, wow, they kind of did it all. They had their cake and ate it too, and it made for a much richer movie than I expected when I walked in.
And I think that's a good place to leave this conversation.
Yeah, I'm so glad we both liked it as much as we did.
As soon as it ended, I was like, well, I know Brian's going to like it. Mm-hmm. Normally we kind of wait to hear each other's reactions, but I think before we talked about it, I was like, so I'm assuming you liked it. So didn't you like this part?
Yeah, right.
Because I was just like, honestly, like, what's not to like? It's like it's got good action. It's got character stuff that keeps you engaged throughout. And, that's what you want out of a movie like this.
Yeah, and not to get all sappy, which I realize I'm doing this whole way through, but I think there was just something that was really inspiring about a movie that had positivity in it.
Yeah.
And people assisting one another and helping one another. And I think that's why I responded to The Rise of Skywalker too, was like I really enjoyed just, and then like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like truly in a time that's just so negative.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to just want to trounce and want to see your people trounce on the people who are different than these people, and the bad guy, even the good guys, just trounce on the bad guys. I really admired a movie that was like, maybe we can help each other.
Yeah.
And really tried to say something kind of surprisingly kind of nice and optimistic. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with how I felt about it.
There you go. Can't say it any better than that.
Nice. Well, January, who knew? Off to a good start.
I know. It's I'd like to think I'm the Marcus to your Mike Lowry.
Oh, you really?
I'm like the guy in the sidecar being like, "Oh no. What are we doing?"
Well, I don't know about that, but
I'm going to get hit.
I definitely picture us in one of those, whatever those are called, the motorcycle and the sidecar. Whoever's in either one.
But we will be back soon with the special episode where we look at our favorite movies of the 2010s.
I think that's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to putting that out into the world, and we will be back soon with some fun commentary tracks. We got, I was just the other day, I was rewatching Batman Forever, and I was like, oh yeah, we got a commentary for that coming up this year.
Wow, you know what's really funny? I was with some friends yesterday, and Batman Forever came up so much.
Really?
That's so funny. Yeah, who knew? It was just preparing me for this.
The stars are aligning.
Yep.
So that's a coming. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening to this conversation. Please, as always, send us your thoughts about the show and about the movies we talk about, whatever. You can reach us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page and message us there, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. If you're looking for me, I'm at Zacky's Corner on Twitter, ZAKIS Corner. That's also my website, just add a .com. And if you go to the Nostalgia Theater show, latest episode is very cool. It's my conversation with Zach Stentz about Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, which I listened to and is great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was I had that conversation with him for the paper, because I did an article a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. And I thought you meant the movie, that 90s movie, The Paper.
Oh, For the Chronicle. And I was like, wait, I got this great like half-hour discussion that I had. Mm-hmm. And, I'm like the ancient Native Americans. I don't waste any part of the buffalo.
Which is great.
So I was able to turn that into the show. And speaking of shows, how's your show going along?
Oh, it's going. I think we have a new episode coming up at the end of this month of January, and then it's just going to keep going from there, season 3.
This is Puppy Dog Pals.
Yep.
And with that, I will close out this episode on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall. My name is Zaki Hassan. This has been Movie Film 192. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome, friends.